Welcome to Enlightened Game with Slim Sir, as he takes the lessons he learned from the streets, commonly known as the game, and applies them to everyday life, helping everyday people win the game of life, focusing on relationships, money, and the winner's lifestyle. This podcast will turn any chump into a champ. So if you're ready, let the game begin. And now, your host, the most valuable player himself, Slim Sir.
Welcome to Enlightened Game. I am your host, Slim Sir, and this is my audio notebook. This is where I get things off of my chest, get things off of my mind, and share this game with you. And really, what this game is wisdom. It's the wisdom of being a man, manhood. And I have to be the first to tell you that I wasn't always a man. It took a long time for me to grow into the man that I am. And it took me having a mentor, someone who really understood what manhood is and machood is. And I know that's what y'all want to hear, so we're going to jump straight into today's subject. Now, there's a lot of people who would rather hear me talk about pimping and rather hear me talk about, how to get money from a bitch. That's not what this podcast is about. You know what I'm saying? I took some time off because I was looking at the game. I was looking at life. And what I found was some really disturbing shit, man. What I found is that a lot of men a lot of males, a lot of boys would rather be the Mac of the year rather than the man of the year. They'd rather be the pimp of the year rather than be father of the year. They'd rather be player of the year rather than be husband of the year. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's some pretty lame shit. I'm just going to be flat out, be honest with you. You see, the purpose of any male is to become a man. That's your purpose. Your purpose as a male is not to become a pimp, you know what I'm saying, or a player. Your purpose as a male is to become a man. And men have to take responsibility and do what men do. You understand? I look at social media and I see a lot of these, pimping memes and hoes, and that's cool for a time, I guess. I've done it. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing what they do. But at a certain point, you have to grow the fuck up. The world is not about pimping. Life is not about pimping and hoeing. Let's keep it real. That doesn't make the world spin. It doesn't make the world spin. We need producers. We need manufacturers. We need entrepreneurs. We need business owners. You know what I'm saying? The world consists of families, and a family consists of a man and a woman. Now, I know that's not the popular belief these days, and these days, people want to choose their gender, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. But if we look at the natural order of the way life works because there are men being men and women being women and having children and raising up men and women. You know what I'm saying? Raising their sons and their daughters to be men and women. The world consists of families. You know what I'm saying? So if the family unit is fucked up, that means that the whole world is going to be fucked up. And what I'm noticing in today's time is that people have no respect for the family unit. Therefore, they have no respect for manhood or real womanhood. Therefore, they have no respect for themselves. That's the reality of it. When I look at my own life, not judging anybody else, but when I look at my own life, in hindsight, it takes a strong man to say this, man, but when I was running the streets and doing my thing, I wasn't really happy. I'm going to keep it real with you. Over the last year, some of you who follow me on Instagram and have signed up for my Max Bible study group, that I've had a child over the last year. Well, my lady was pregnant over the last year. We just had a child 2 months ago. My son will be 2 months in a few days. And I have found the greatest joy in my life by just being a father and being a man. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of my responsibilities as a man. When I was running the streets, man, going from hoe to hoe, you know what I'm saying? And getting money, there was something inside of myself that wasn't really 100% happy. And the reason why that was simply because I wasn't fulfilling my purpose and my duty as a person and as a man. You know what I'm saying? I had when I had my son, I ain't gonna front, I still had a few females on the side, and they was paying me for some game. And a few of them got upset with me because I had a child and decided to call me weird because I had a child. Now let's think about this. Here's a female who came into the world because she had a mother and a father who had sex. You know what I'm saying? That she had parents. You understand what I'm saying? She had parents. And her parents brought her into the world. Was that weird? You know what I'm saying? It's not fucking weird. It's natural. And so my point is, a lot of us have strayed away from having a natural perspective. We think that living a natural life, doing what normal people do, is weird. It's not actually weird. It's called normal. What's weird is that you don't want to be a man or you don't want to be a woman. When I had my son, a lot of so-called dudes in the game started making slick comments talking about, hey, pimps don't have children. Well, how the fuck did you get into the world? If you're a pimp, how did you get into the world? You got into the world because your parents had sex and your mom got pregnant. That's the reality of it. So what's weird is the fact that you don't want to be a man or that you don't want to be a woman. And what I found is that when they make slick comments like that, the reality is they're afraid to be men because they don't know how to be men. They're afraid to be women because they don't know how to be women. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we seek validation from social media. We seek validation from a lifestyle that really isn't a lifestyle. It's really a death style. You know what I'm saying? It's really a style of living that is non-productive, non-advancement. That's not the game. See, I've been telling y'all for a long time that this game represents the game of life. Life is like a motherfucking game. Okay? And you have winners and you have losers. And those of us who win are those of us who play by the rules and are productive and are advancing and are growing in life. What I've noticed is a lot of times, when you talk about this game, you want to hear some memes, you want to watch some videos, you want to hear a podcast, where motherfuckers going to try to tell you to, get money out of a bitch's ass. But a lot of these motherfuckers, I'm going to keep it real with you, they're not getting money out of a bitch's ass. They're not. You know what I'm saying? They're probably licking a bitch's ass, but they're not getting no money out of a bitch's ass. You know what I'm saying? And if they are, at some point, if they're natural men, at some point, if they're reasonable thinkers, they're going to want more out of life. I've lived both sides of this game. I've been a stomped down motherfucker at one point. And I could tell you that I really wasn't happy. Straight up and down. I wasn't happy. Now, if that's the path that you want to take, then go ahead. Totally fine. Everybody has you got to take responsibility for the choices that you make in life. But what I could tell you is the purpose of life is bigger than the streets. It bothers me sometimes when we watch the news and you see a young black brother killed. We got a few black brothers that was killed in the news recently. And all these people will stand up and say, oh, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. We need a change. But change really begins with you. How is the world going to change if the people in the world are not changing themselves? And how are you going to change yourself unless you grow and advance mentally? Think about that. How are you going to change unless you start taking on responsibility? How is the world going to change if you don't change and step up and be a man? And so what a lot of people don't realize is that the term Mac is really just a glamorized term for manhood. Let me tell you something. When you take away all of the fucking titles and you take away the everything, what a woman really wants is just a real man, a stand-up man. You know what I'm saying? What a man really wants is just a woman who's going to admire him, respect him, and cater to him. And so personally, in my own life, I went in the game. I was in the game because I was looking for respect from a woman, man. You know what I'm saying? And I thought at some point, you gotta put your foot in the bitch's ass to get respect. What I've realized is, man, to get respect from a woman, you first got to respect yourself. And the only way you're going to respect yourself is if you have some standards that you're living up to and that if you have integrity. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how many motherfuckers respect you or like you in the world if you don't like and respect your motherfucking self. And I had to come full circle on that. I had to realize that within myself. There was a certain point that I didn't fucking like myself. You know what I mean? There was more out of life that I wanted from my life. And I could tell you straight up and down, I started getting that when I started to really be a man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to share with you how to really be a man. See, a lot of us, we got a penis, you got a motherfucking dick. You know what I'm saying? You got some muscles and you think that makes you a man. Or you work a job and you think that makes you a man. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit don't make you a man. What makes you a man is when you have clear standards and you have principles that you live by and that you don't break for nobody. You know what I'm saying? You have the integrity to carry out your standards and principles. You carry out your responsibilities as a man. Now think about this. That almost every fucking animal in the animal kingdom, the male has a role. You know what I'm saying? Has responsibilities. You don't have to tell him what the fucking his responsibilities is. By nature, he carries out his responsibilities. In nature, the female, she has responsibilities. She knows what her responsibilities is. You don't have to tell her what that is by nature. So what happens is in our lives, we've been robbed and stripped of our fucking basic nature. We've been made into something that we're really not. That's the reality of it. Damn, man, my time is gone almost that quick. Anyway, I want y'all to go to slimsir.com and start advancing your mind. Start programming your mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop thinking about social media, man. Pick up a fucking book and start growing your mind. And we're going to continue this podcast. I'm going to get back on my shit and start sharing this game with y'all. But in the meantime, in between time, like, share, comment on these podcasts, man. And on that note, peace.